Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to what is quite miserable West Sussex. I've just been told that there is a dampness in the air, but it is only a mild dampness, but we can live with that. So, getting on to today, what are we doing? Well, let me bring in my trusted earworm first,
Hello, everybody.
who will be lurking in the background and keeping me informed and you amused, hopefully.
Well, lurking anyway. Yeah,
Lurking, yeah. Yeah, don't make him laugh too much because he starts coughing if you
I'll
if
start
you let
coughing.
him.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm going to take Andy out. I'm going to change camera so we can see the twin that is about to be born. See, I told you he starts coughing if he gets
Gets too
going.
excited. Yeah.
Yeah. See, Ben's just hi Ben. So this is the beast that we've got. The dark area there is where the weather got in because it was all planked and put underneath the tarpaulin, and the pink purple you can see there is where there was a bearer across to let the air run through it. So we've got two inclusions of the edge. We've got a little bit of pip running through, and it's you. So it's not the world's best picture, but I think that's the best picture I can give you
That's fine.
guys.
That's all right. Yeah, that's okay.
So Terry, hi Terry. They're all creeping in now. So I will be turning in conventional style to start with. Only because if I use my little chisel to show you, that's at, it's a bit dark, but that's at 45 degrees to the wood. That's
Fine.
at 45 degrees down. So I can take a cut off of the back wing, a slicing cut as it comes round, rather than a lot of people, they will now hold it and chase it in from the edge, and you can see the arm gradually building up with shavings. Do I want that? No, I've got a little bit of self-protection involved. So I turn round, turn left-handed, push it off, which throws all of the shavings well away. If it was smaller and I could get round the back of the lathe, I would push it off the other way, and most of that would go down the dust extractor. So that's the way we will be turning today, hopefully. And while I get myself dressed up, let me tell you,
I'll tell you who's in.
Yeah, it's 400 wide, and it's 2¼ thick. And the one that Andy's got tonight was, I believe, the next one off of this end. But I'm
It's
not
remarkably
sure.
similar. Remarkably similar.
It's either that or it was the next one off on top. But that's what we're working with. Right, glasses away. I shan't need them. I'm going fully undercover today, putting the headset on as it's you. So you might hear a little bit of noise in the background. I apologise beforehand, but Andy knows what we're doing. He can make a call on it. I can hear most of what Andy's saying. Hopefully I can hear what you guys are saying. So we're going to go for it.
On the test earlier, we could hear quite clearly what you were saying, so I don't think it will be a problem, but we're ready for it if we get one. Shall I go through the chat then?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, you can do, as long as you can hear me now.
Yeah, I can definitely hear you. Apologies before we start if I miss anybody. I'm doing it off the YouTube one, and we'll see how we go. So Darren J. Callison, first one in. Sid's repurposing. And then there was a lot of discussion between the two of them and Keith and myself before Cat Hutch came in. And that's all Australian so far. And then Chris Dodds, staying with Australia. Doug Miller. Good to see somebody from somewhere else as well. Sid's repurposing, Doug Miller, Darren. Chatty lot, aren't we? Clint
Try
at
and
Wood
keep it that way.
Yeah, Clint at Wood Dancers. Robert Dolman, Clive Rogerson. Excuse me. John Scarborough. It's all the same names. Benjamin. Hi, Ben.
Hello, Ben. Don't you start any trouble.
Robbo Robertson. Good day.
Hello, Robbo. Good day, mate.
Barry Chitty. Much more local.
Hi, Barry.
Terry Hooper. Another one who's more local. So there's an awful lot of names on here, but I've read them all out all once already. Steve Ellis. Greg Alexander.
Well, you've got the choice of 33 names.
Chris Glanville.
Hello, Chris.
Colin Chalmers. David J. Heath, the Guildford Carpenter. Not so very far away. Jennifer's Craft and Creations. Hello, Jennifer. Darren says, nicely explained, Keith. That's why I come here.
Good.
Very, very pleased to hear that, Darren. That's what we try and do. Jennifer, Sid, Greg, Woodworm Paul, welcome. And then that's me at the bottom. So hopefully that's the full number 33, which is how many we've got watching at the moment.
So I'm easing this across the wood. And all the shavings are completely missing me.
Andrew from Wivy Woodshed is in. Flick is in. Brian Watkins in Spain. Lawrence Vigasia.
Right, I'm going to put the big one down and go for something slightly smaller so that I can wield it in front of me. That one was getting in the way. So exactly the same grind, exactly the same cut.
Katie Cornish Maid is in.
Hello, Katie. I believe that's Chris's other half.
I believe you're right. And Sid says, why are we all so polite saying hi? Because we're lovely. We're nice people.
Because we're UK. Yeah, always turn the lathe off when you adjust the tool rest. Notice I always do, if I think about it.
Yeah. Clive Rogerson says, I must practice more turning wrong-handed. Just feels too cack-handed. It's a good thing to practice, Clive, because if you can do it, it gets you out of a bit of trouble sometimes.
Well, like I said in the intro, that's all of the dust that I've got on my arm, which is nothing compared to the build-up some of the turners get. It's like a bird's nest that's sitting on their arm. I don't know about you guys, but I can get moaned at from the slightest bit of sawdust I take indoors. So the more I can
that's just part of life,
taking in, yeah, the more I can stop taking in, the more comfortable my eardrums are.
Robbo says he's always said that lathes were for left-handers, and I think at times I agree with you. I'm lucky I can use both hands. Either hand, I should say.
Well, through spending all my working life working on tools, I've become accustomed to using both hands and can almost do a Chris Fisher and turn blind, but I'm not going to because that's a little bit scary. But
Pushing you luck, yeah.
the amount of plumbing I've done where I've made connections that I couldn't see what I were making, and they've
Yep,
worked out
yep.
fine. So we've lost almost all of the on that piece, and we're just going to end up with a little bit of an inclusion on that side. But you can, it's actually better than what I thought it was. There's quite a lot of pippy burr there, and there's a massive lump just here.
It's nice, isn't it? Yeah, it's lovely. Steve Ellis says this appears to be a very controlled way of turning. And I think, Steve, you've got a point. Part of that is because you can see the end of the tool. It's not covered in shavings.
Yes.
And that is part of it, without any doubt at all. But it's controlled, it's there. And I haven't mastered it myself yet. I won't be doing the same tonight. But then the whole purpose of today is to see two different styles, isn't it? So
yeah, it's.
I don't need to apologise for that.
Going to have a fairly big foot on it, but I'm going to make a smallish rim to the foot. So that little bit there has just given me about a 5mm deep foot from the rim. I'm just letting the tool work across at its own speed. I'm not pushing it, I'm holding it down. If I was to push this, this would end up a bit of a mess because of all the pips in there. It's not going to be exceptionally pretty because that was the first cut. But we can stop it and see what we've got now. You should be able to see. Oh, look at the burr on that. Look at the pips on that.
It's gorgeous, isn't it?
So that's the shape I'm looking for. You can see why it was bouncing on the bottom there as well with those pips in there. A bit of sport happening just there, right the way through. Not quite purple, but not far off. And we've got a bit of worm happening just across this sapwood here. That's part of the game. It'll be dead or drunk by now anyway. So now I'm just going to refine this curve. I might even do that the other way around so you guys can see a little bit more of it. I've got a fully adjustable camera most of the time.
That's better.
So whack it in reverse. Now, what I will say about turning in reverse, you can only do it on bowls if your chuck is locked onto the shaft. Now, what I mean by locked onto the shaft is there's a spare back plate. This is the metric one that fits this chuck. There's 3 grub screws in there. The one I've got on here is a homemade one, home drilled one. It's only got the 2, but you can tighten these grubs, put the chuck on normally, pinch up the grub screws, that stops it coming off. Put that back so I know where it is when I next want it. Not sure. That's not bleaching you up too much, is it? No.
No, that's fine.
That gives me a little bit of light on where I'm doing reverse.
Jennifer asked a little while ago what wood it is. I think Robert's answered her, but it's you, Jennifer.
It's English yew. And even with a big chisel, big gouge, I can take off very fine whiskers.
Brian at Hartwood Turnings in. Hello, Brian.
I'm glad you stood your ground yesterday lunchtime, Brian.
Yeah, absolutely.
I didn't get much chance to comment. I was chasing cameras around the workshop to try and get a more stable feed, and I think I've managed it. I've just got one that I changed because it kept on picking up electronics from something. So I've changed the camera and that seems to want to work okay now. So I'll creep the volume up a bit. We're still only about 400, 450, so we're not turning fast.
Paul Heighton, the Grisby Turner, is in.
Hello, Paul. Hello, everybody. So this will be basically a finishing cut, taking the time, letting the wood come onto the tool. And particularly with you, I don't want to do too much sanding. And see with it spitting the shavings out, that's when we're hitting the pippy bits. So this is a UK half-inch bowl gouge, reasonably long swept back grind, ground at 45 degrees. It works for me.
Pete Twisted Trees is in. Hello, Pete.
Hello, Pete. Now I'm going to start bouncing and it's going to get a bit noisy because I'm on the now missing section. It's going too fast. Let's slow it down a fraction. Now don't push this last cut off the edge. Let the chisel take the wood and cut itself off the edge. I'm going to halve the cut. A lot of times with that little bit left, about 2 mil, you'll see someone all of a sudden jump off the end. That's the bit you don't want. You want to let it come off really nicely. Pick up the cut and just finalise it. I can see I've got a little bit of a shimmer.
Katie's back now. Hi, everyone. I missed saying hi to.
Everyone, Katie. That was teacher for going away. Right, well, stop and have a good look at this. Analyse the wood. Analyse the cut. I don't know whether you can see. You can just see it there. I've got a little bit of a ring. That's where I stopped and slowed it down because it was getting a bit too fast. So I'll pick that cut up there. There's the cut. Let it creep off the edge. One more should do it. Yep, we've got it this time. Right, controlled cuts, that's what that was. And there's the
Angel's
micro
hairs.
shavings. Sorry, mate, go on.
Oh, sorry, angel's hairs. I said.
Oh, right, okay.
Description of the shavings. That's all. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm quite happy with the finish of that.
It looks nice. Yeah.
I'm just going to tart the inner bit of the foot up because I've got some rings in there. So we'll do that the conventional way. Don't need to worry too much about the middle because it's going to have a small mortise in there. I'm just holding the gouge firmly on the bottom. I'm not pressing or trying to burnish the wood. And I think this is where Brian was having an issue either yesterday lunchtime or yesterday evening. I think it was yesterday lunchtime. He couldn't get his tool to cut very satisfactory in one place, but it was leaving a really polished finish on it. And I think it was because he was putting too much weight on the wood, on the gouge to make sure it didn't jump about, which had the adverse effect of making it jump about. There's a little ring to sand out there. What's the seed yours in for a mortise? Is that 42? 52?
56.
56, right.
Oh, for a mortise? No, sorry,
Yeah.
it's bigger than that. Mortise is 64.
It's a bit heavy at 70 then. I knew there was something I meant to 64 or do then. If it's wrong, we'll blame Andy.
Yeah, well, that's what I've got written on my thingy.
So left leg.
The drill bit I use is 60, so yeah, it'd be about right.
Yeah, left leg touch the wood, lightly scribe it. If you have trouble seeing the mark you've just made, sometimes on wood like this, you just need to stick a pencil in there, and there's the outside of the mortise. Before I cut the mortise, I'm not happy with this transition there.
I was just looking at that.
Yeah. It was going from left to right against right to left, and it just left a little mark. Right. Tool rest up a fraction because I'm going down to a 10mm bowl gouge. Just shy of the line, the pencil mark is still there. Now, there was quite a bit of discussion the other day about tenons against mortises.
Endlessly.
I'm afraid I'm one that prefers a mortise on 95% of the work I do. If it's cut correctly and accurately, it's not a problem. I've had tenons let go.
Yep.
Because I've squeezed it up too tight. B, you've had a little bit of a knock, which has resulted in a catch. Okay, I've got somewhere. That's the trouble with sort of tidying up. You sort of hide things. Well, it was here yesterday.
Not your special tool.
Yeah. Oh, no.
I've got one here I've made.
Yeah. I've got one I used yesterday. Where the hell have I put that then? Up here, out of the way.
Oh,
Because I sharpened it.
I was just going to say that.
Yeah. So, just going to go in, just take the line off. Now, if you find that you're leaving a little bit of rough in the bottom, turn the chisel on its side to about 30 degrees, and then you can get a shearing scrape on that rather than a straightforward scrape. Just take the pip out the middle. I always put a little bit of decoration on there to make it look like it's meant to be there. We might take the mortise out at the end, but I have now a finished bottom if I decide to leave it that way.
Absolutely.
So,
speaking of which, the one I did last Tuesday, I did actually take the bottom out, and I posted it on Facebook showing the bottom.
right.
Because of the discussion there was about not being able to get rid of the fixing point. Well, of course you can. You can turn it out.
Yeah.
So there is one on Facebook, which I did last week. It's just showing that.
I'm starting off with 80 grit, although I don't really need it, but I'm just going to give it a quick lick and a promise, because there are, I don't know whether you can see it, but there's a couple of little lines there, and there's one just there.
Just
the one
see
just
it in
there you can pick up.
In the reflected light, I can just see one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the only disadvantage if you're in reverse. Shows the drill, so it unwinds.
Ah.
So we come down underneath when we're going the right way then. Plus it's nearer the extractor. Drop you guys down here. You can see the extractor down here, and you'll just about see a plume of dust disappearing down there.
Rob CP is in. Hi, Rob.
Hi, Rob. So as normal, if any of you have got any questions, put them in the chat. Put them in several times if we miss them or don't answer them. Or if you want more of an answer, ask us why. I'm here to not teach you guys, but show you ways of doing things and hopefully explain why I do it a specific way. Not everyone works like I do.
Rob from Copperell Wood Turning is in.
Hello, Rob. The way I works for me.
It's about a 14-inch piece, Katie. How big is that piece, she was asking?
400 diameter, which is nearly 16.
16-inch, beg your pardon.
I've got them out, and then I've hidden them. Yeah, I'll put them over out the way so I don't knock them over. That's got all of the chisel marks out. Quite happy with that.
Oh, yours is bigger than mine. Then mine's 14 1/4.
Right. There was next one down.
Yeah, I was.
next one up on the trunk, shall we say.
I thought mine must be because it fits on my lathe conventionally without having to turn the head.
Well, this one would.
16 wouldn't, not on my lathe.
Yeah, this one, I think I can take 17 inches on here.
I can tell you.
But again, it moves, so I move it.
Yeah, 16 and a half will be a bit tight. On mine, it's 406 basically. I can get on there, 406 mil. Afternoon mark.
I'm just checking the end grain. That's end grain. That's end grain, but this is a lot wider end grain, and I think I've got all I need to go
Mark
on
Stroughton.
to
Mark Stroughton's in.
240. Hello, Mark.
I missed him.
It's inevitable that you're going to miss someone, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah. Jennifer saying good afternoon, babes, that alerted me to it.
Oh, right. So this one will probably go over the hour, or will go over the hour. I want to try and be done by 2:30 because JP's got a premiere on. He's turning some acrylic, polyester, resin, not sure what it is, something that I believe it, read it, has come from Claire's Crafty Corners. I may well be wrong.
That'll make a nice mess then.
So it'll be everywhere. Well, it's not bad, half an hour to get that far.
Yeah, Terry Hooper says we older people work in metric and imperial, and Brian at Harwood Turning agrees.
Yeah.
And I must admit, I tend to buy 8x4 sheets in 3/4 inch thickness. So yes, I'm the same.
Yeah. Well, having worked on the building trade.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's where it happens.
Yeah. And you've got to be able to work in both. It doesn't work otherwise. Yeah.
So I guess I'm still legible. You can hear me okay?
Yep. JP's
Good.
turning Jasmonite, by the way.
Oh, right. Is that what it was?
Yeah, that's the stuff that Rich turned a little while ago.
Okay. Get rid of the dust.
Cornish maid says she can do both too, just she prefers inches. Depends what you're doing with them as to which one I prefer.
Yeah.
If you're calculating with it, then definitely metric. But having been a teacher, I had to do metric anyway, so I had no choice on that.
I'm just going to run over this with a little bit of 400. Hand sand it as I can, just to save a little bit of time on the wet sanding in a minute. And I'm quite happy to do this because I've got my space mask on. Lightly hold it on. Don't linger in one place too long because you'll end up with either a burn or it will certainly show. So that's gone from 240 straight down to 400. At 240 in the drill angle grinder is a lot finer than 240 going round like this. And if you don't believe me, try it. Because I didn't have any weight on the disc. It was literally just sitting there. Right. Red for off. That's better. Although you couldn't see it, I could feel it.
Lovely piece of timber, though, isn't it?
Beautiful.
Looking forward to seeing the finish go on that.
Sanding sealer.
This is it. This is the bit. Zing,
Big reveal.
pow. Yeah. Yeah, look at that. Those pips are gorgeous, aren't they?
Yeah, they'll be even more predominant later on.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So that's what we're working with, guys. So I think sticking with my tried and tested, and I shan't say preferred, but I'm going to wet sand it. I'm going to wet sand it with fine paste wax. Fine paste wax applied with a Libron pad, Webrax pad. Going to forward, keep the volume up a fraction. Just apply the wax. Doesn't matter that there's a little bit of damp sanding sealer on there. That will either soak in or be taken with the wax. And all I want to do at the moment is just spread the wax on the surface.
I think you've just confused Casey. She says, wait. Since when has Sila been in a spray? Well, since Pussy was a kitten, but...
Yeah. Don't forget, that's Cornwall. So,
of course, yes, yeah.
Yeah, so...
yeah, we've upset the north. We'll go on the south now.
Yeah, it does take a bit longer to get that way, particularly if you've got to go over the Tamer Bridge.
Yeah, but Chestnut do the whole lot in sprays as well as loose.
And you can actually get it posted to you as well, Katie.
You can.
So that when you start turning, if Chris lets you.
It's nice. It's nice because it dries quickly. It's very easy to apply.
Yeah, and, I wouldn't generally use it. I generally use shellac.
I find I'm using it more and more these days. I have to say.
I'm using it on lives. I'm not using it when I'm in the workshop on my own. Right, so I'll just ramp the speed up a fraction. So we're now running at all of about 200 revs. Just keep the Webrax pad moving.
That sanding sealant was actually acrylic, Terry, but you can get cellulose as well in spray form. At least I think I heard Keith say it was acrylic.
Yes, it was acrylic.
Yeah. Yep.
I can see it where I'm standing, so.
Yeah, I must admit I tend to use them indiscriminately. I've got both. Depends which one comes to hand.
I prefer the acrylic because it's not quite so up your nose.
If I've been doing spraying with colours or something, then I'll use the acrylic because it doesn't upset the colours.
Right, so that was in
cellulose does.
Put a little bit more wax on the, and it is only a little bit. Work it in now in reverse. And you can hear the missing part hammering on my fingers.
Sid's going to bed. Good night, Sid.
Already, Sid.
Sleep well.
It's only 1:30, 20 to 2. I suppose that's the trouble with you old uns. You can't handle a full day.
Terry Hooper says you need his eyes testing. What's that? Because you can't hear properly, yeah.
Right, so that's gone over it. I creep the volume up again. Before I go too fast, I'm going to do the very edge and half of the bowl. And then for the middle, I'm going to creep it up a bit more.
Brian Watkins is asking, what mix do you use for shellac sanding sealer, Keith?
Usually about 50-50, 60-40, 50-50, something like that. Whatever it works at, because as you dilute it with meths, you can change it accordingly. don't want it to soak in too far, but you also want it to soak in. There's no right and wrong on mixes as far as I can see, because it's all dependent on what wood you're turning. If you're turning a hardwood, non-absorbent wood, you want something that actually soaks in a bit, so you make it a bit thinner.
Yep.
But if you're turning something soft like a pine, a deal, or something in that sort of remit, you want something a bit thicker so that it doesn't soak in quite so far and disappear.
Lawrence Bugasia says shellac tends to make the wood yellowish. He's put a question mark in front, or question in front of it. So
never had an issue with it making the wood yellowish. I must admit mine's far from yellow, because all I keep doing is topping up the pot.
yeah,
I've got a half litre pot, I think it is, that I pour some in, water it down, pour a bit more in, water it down. And the time I get to the bottom, it gets a bit gloopy, and I'm quite surprised that it's quite dark in the bottom. That's just a quick. I've got wax marks on it, I can see that.
Yeah, Darren's saying that he starts with a 1 pound cut, then change the strength of depending on the timber. And shellac flakes come in many colours. Some are really amber, but you get a very clear one too. So yeah, it's like everything; it all varies. Yeah, Alf Key is in.
Oh, yeah.
When he saw twins, he thought you were turning in a maternity ward.
No, I think they'd object to the dust elf.
It wouldn't be too good for the baby's lungs, no.
No.
Especially you.
I'm no baby.
I just wondered if you might pick me up on that.
I thought I'd give it a second.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wait for the punchline to sink in. Let's drag in a bit in the middle, so creep the volume up, generate a bit more heat. What I'm hoping for is I can get the paper off clean without a massive build-up of wax showing on it. So that feels better. I can always buff it at the end of the turn if I need to. But again, this is where forward and reverse come in useful. It does speed up the finishing process. Right. Chuck key. We'll use that one. I don't think it is that one. Yes, it is.
That doesn't look too bad, Keith.
No, it doesn't.
Lovely shiny finish.
And you were wrong. My seed jaws need to be a little bit bigger, by nearly 1/8 of an inch.
All right. Ooh.
So I shouldn't have adjusted these dividers. No. Okay.
Let me just measure that drill bit again, the one I used to drill for the seed
I think
jaws.
there's two or three different seed jaw configurations out there as well.
Yeah, 65mm is the drill bit I use.
Okay.
For my seed jaws.
This measures up. Where did you put the? Where did we put that? This is measured up at 70. 71.
Okay. I'm just getting a chuck key into mine just to shut it up a bit and see what it measures to. This is for the inside, outside.
Yeah, it's about 2 mil difference. 2.5 mil difference. Not a massive amount.
Yeah, no, mine measures about 65. Obviously, slightly different jaws from yours.
I've got the Stone Age ones.
I bought them when I first bought my first lathe. So.
I think I did the same. So.
And they're still going strong.
I'm not going to bother to clean that and wax that.
You may even turn it off yet, mightn't you?
Might even dispose of it, yeah. Didn't realise I had that strength and tightened it up that much.
Yours must be slightly different because just checking everything I've got. Yeah, 64.
So as normal, I'm holding the chuck still. I'm pulling that round on the mortise that I've made.
So what does that faceplate measure inside then?
I'll tell you in a minute, but it's got C written on it.
Yeah.
Pinch that up. It measures about 68.
Okay. I shall measure mine, which I have here. 65.
Definitely a C because it's got it written on it.
Yeah, no, that measures 68 as well. My faceplate does. Ooh.
Make sure that spins.
Anyway, easily sorted. So.
Yeah, drop the tool post down. If I want to be cutting at middle, so I've got to go down to about there. And I had a conversation with someone yesterday. They were saying, "Oh, I've set it up so that it's level." I said, "No, you need to set the tool rest up so that when you're cutting, you're at centre."
Yeah.
Because the tool is at 45 degrees to the wood. Let's put those up so they don't stab me.
Yes, the pointy bit's the important bit.
Very carefully pick up the edge.
Scott's in.
Hello, Scott.
Blue light turn up. Workshop.
Good video you put out last night, mate. Sorry I didn't see it last night. Didn't even realise you were putting one out.
I must do that, Darren. If you can't have a set of calipers set to each jaw size, it's just pinged up again. Keep a small block, turned to the correct sizes, obviously marked as to the size to take a quick measurement off of. That's not a bad idea, Darren. I might even do that.
I think I'm going to have a fairly wide rim on this one. Let's define the bowl.
Scott's saying it's a last minute thing, Dad.
Ah, right. Must have been.
I missed it completely.
Yeah, I didn't see it before I turned it off.
Well, I discovered this morning that it had been on.
Yeah, so had I. And I read that as Thursday night's live to start with. And then it said it premiered 8 hours ago. I thought, read it again.
Good night, Robbo.
Cheers, Robbo. Thanks for dropping in, mate. Trying to keep you guys in the picture. Up to a small 10mm just to finish off this squint that I'm putting in there to define the rim before the bowl cuts in. So when it posted, oh, it's a bowl within a bowl situation. It can look like that. Works for me.
Right, I'm back.
You're back.
You didn't even know I'd gone, did you?
Except it went quiet.
Yeah, no. Somebody was at the door. Chris Bailey Woodworks is in.
Hello, Chris. Beauty of this turning like this, I can look over and see what the outside's looking like at the same time I'm turning the inside. So I can judge whether I want to go deeper on this edge or shallower. Very devoid on questions today, so am I explaining it as I'm going along?
I think you must be, yeah.
Yeah.
We've had a discussion on marking sizes of mortise and tenons.
Right. Put the calipers on to see what we've got. Pretty good. It's just over ½ inch wall thickness down there, so quite happy with that. It has moved a fraction as I've turned it. You can see it bouncing around a fraction. Right, now I'm nearly happy with that. I'm just going to have one more skim up the outside just to clean that up a fraction.
leading question. Is it best to start hollowing from the middle or from the edge like you're doing, Keith? It's Chris Glanville asking.
Personally, Chris, I like to leave a mass in the middle to give me stability. Whereas if you start in the middle and take it out, you've got all the weight round the outside, and centrifugal motion will throw the weight to the outside. Not always what you want to see and what you want to happen. So for me, it's almost a must do. That's better. I've got a nice edge on that, but I don't know whether you can see, even with a nice gentle cut, it's broken a little bit out on that edge grain. So
Rich the Beard is in.
hi Rich. I'm going to just roll this off of the edge carefully. This is a freshly sharpened gouge. How's the hospital patients doing, Rich? That's Thomas, I believe. How's his broken, whatever it was he broke? That's better. See how thin it is just there. A little bit of paper. It's so thin it doesn't want to cut. It's just flexing back. So the way we get over that is we find a trusty piece of 80 or 120. Hold it well clear. Just let the wood lightly rub against it. That should have resolved that issue. It's quite rounded now. You can see I've got a little bit of a flat there, so where the wood has moved, I've got to still carry on working on it.
Oh, Rich says it turned out to be a sprain, even though it looked like a fracture on the X-ray.
Oh, good. So it's not too bad then. So it'll soon be playing football then, Rich. Did the sympathy vote come out, Rich, at all? Did he want this, that, and the other? Still a bit more. So I'm working from the top down each side. Still a margin just there. Can't see it, but I can.
Rich says, laugh out loud. No, Expo and dirt bike. Losing me now.
Kids.
Yeah. It's different language, isn't it?
Yeah. So this yew was cut late 2013. I bought it for an event we were holding down the museum, a traditional crafts event, and we got the wood yard up and running, but we hadn't got any wood suitable for storing. So I had a word with a mate, as you do, and said to him, got any wood floating around that I could buy or you can donate? And he said, I'll have a word with the foresters. So we had a word with the foresters, and they came up with I think it was 7 or 8 stumps. So I phoned my other mate up and said, right, it's all go. So he brought his bandsaw in and it was all cut on site. That's better. Happy with the rim on that now. So it was cut 2015 on site. It was stacked and stored ever since. I've been gradually getting rid of bits and pieces of it. I've still got a few planks out there that need to be put into the disc. And that was 5 screws in there. I can't remember why I didn't put the last one in, because I couldn't find one. But they're 40mm 4s. They were 1.25 1.5 4s, so they're not a big screw. They were big enough to hold that. Get as close as I can with the banjo and the tool rest and start to work in. Have a little bit more speed in the centre. So if any of you were doing this on the lathe that's got a Reeves drive, you would have been on about 2 on the lever to do the outside, and now you would creep it up to 3 to do the smaller bit. But you would actually turn it up to a speed that you were happy using, not what someone else says you must have. I could throw this round at 2.8 quite easily. I wouldn't want to put a chisel near it. I wouldn't want to stand in the line of fire. But at this speed I'm quite happy to stand on the end in the line of fire. Try not to when I'm turning. Again, self-preservation. It hasn't got a knife edge, but it would still give you a headache. And give the paramedic something to patch up, which I don't really want to do.
Cornish maid is off.
Thanks, Katie. Go down a bit smaller. Do it in steps. I think it was Chris that asked me, Chris Landville. Yeah.
He's just got to go as well.
Okay, back to work. Yeah, do it in steps if you're still there. That keeps the mass in the middle. I'm not pushing it. I'm pivoting it on the palm of my hand. My hand is holding the chisel on the tool rest.
Linnykins is in.
Hi, kiddo. Hope you're feeling a bit better today. He's not been overly brilliant, but at least he's had an answer to what was causing the problems. I managed to put her on some tablets, but the tablets don't kick in for about 2 weeks.
Ah, right.
And of course it's falling out of bed syndrome. So she's headbutt the wall and put 2 big holes in the wall.
Oh, God.
Yeah, twisted her knees. Just about everything that doesn't want to bend backwards, she's trying to bend backwards to the sound of it. Hopefully now leveling out curve and things are getting better. And you're beginning to feel
Good.
a little bit more human. Yeah, Darren's about right there. You don't need a death grip. The grip is actually holding it down, and although I'm holding it tight, I can still twist it in my hand. So if you do get a catch, you do get a chance that it will twist in your hand. And the tool rest is slightly high. And again, stop the lathe. Safety first. Second.
My phone's just telling me that you're on now.
Oh, jolly good. Don't think you've missed too much, mate. Hour and 6, so it's about just over an hour turning, so that's not bad. I've already said it's not going to be a rush job, as I never do anyway. And I think this is where Brian learnt his lesson yesterday. You work at the speed you're comfortable working at. You get a far better result. You're in a far better frame of mind.
Jonathan Flynn is in from New York.
Who?
Jonathan Flynn.
Oh, hi, Jonathan. Thank you for your kind comments that you keep leaving on my Facebook post that I put up. We'll stop and we'll have a look to see what we've got. So that's one of the reasons it was bouncing.
Yeah.
An old dead branch in there. A little bit of a ridge just there, which isn't picking up at all on camera, but if I can get in there and just have one, I'll use the sharp chisel. To hell with the expense. There. Feels better. Still a little bit, but I can take that out with a bit of paper, I think. Okay, over to the really second in command. There's got nothing on it, so that's 80 grit. Yeah, we've still got enough pull on there. Drop the speed down a bit. Just about the weight of the drill. I'm not pressing on it. I'm just holding it against the wood. And that's struggling a bit. So I think we'll invest in a new bit of paper. If you don't have paper that cuts, all you're doing is generating heat and friction, and this is we don't want it. New bit of paper, and feel the difference straight away. So if anyone's interested in this, I sell this paper, it's Rhino Grip by the meter. Just inbox me, message me, text me, find me on Facebook, or catch me in the next chat, and let me know what you're after, and I can work out what price it is. I do the 6 grips starting at 80, 120, 180, 240, 320, 400.
Any problem with me putting a link in for JP's Premiere?
Yeah, if you wouldn't mind.
Yep, no problem. I've just found it, so I can do it.
Okay. Ben's using it.
There we are. It's in.
Thank you. I hope you do record this one. It's pretty cheap too. Not tried it myself yet though. The only comment I will make on that, Ben, is that it hasn't got the speed of the angle grinder that I've got, or the angle drill that I've got. So it's not a good one, but it works. Just noticed I've got a little bit of grain broken out. Just on the end of my finger, you can just about see it in the darkness behind. Little V. Nothing I can do about it. It's gone. So I'm going to take the helmet off.
Mm. Is that better?
That's better. Fresh air.
Oh, you've come outside.
I've taken my helmet off. I think what I'm going to do is I'm getting hot and bothered underneath that. I'm going to call it a day on sanding. I will sand this up when I've had a drink and a sit down, and then post the end results. But the inside will be finished exactly the same as the back was. So that was with sanding sealer on there, wax on to wet sand it, so you get a nice finish. It's not the easiest bits to turn because of all the pippy bits. I'm almost there, but I don't want to spoil it for racing it.
No,
we've
it's not
been
worth
going an hour and a quarter, and an hour and a quarter has been a little bit of a fight, to say the least.
So bring your sandwiches tonight then.
So yeah. So whether Andy completes his in one or does the same as what I do, turn it and finish the outside and then finish the inside and put pictures up later on.
We'll see how it goes tonight. Yeah.
Yeah, it's entirely up to him. But that's the baby.
It's lovely, isn't it?
We finished up. I can find my tape. We started off at just under 400. I've lost 10 mil because I've finished up at 390. Yeah. So quite happy with that. Quite happy with the shape. I like the squint in there to make it look like it's a deeper bowl by keeping the edge a little bit thin. If yours turns out anything half like this, mate, it should be a good one tonight.
I'll be quite pleased. Yes.
Yeah.
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 No, that's lovely.
I think I might just put a little bit of super glue in there, a little bit of CA where that's chipped out. There is a bit of a split there. But, it's the nature of the beast. You've got to work with it, but
Yeah.
not unsurmountable. So that's it, guys. So I don't know how many we had in at one time. I wasn't watching that. I was
39 at the
what I
moment.
was doing. Yeah, which
It's
is
been
not
about
bad
that
at the end, is it?
No,
Right.
it's been about that all the way through, I think. But
Okay.
you know, it's been above that just. Yeah.
Okay.
But no, it's good. It's good. And but there are lots of people who come and gone. So
Yeah, which is what happens, particularly over lunchtime. So be careful. It should. Oh my God, it's him.
It's him.
Yeah. Well, I'm not going to take it all on my own. What I will do is I will give that a little dust off, which is.
Oh, that's better.
Look, you can almost see me now. It's surprising how much dust sticks to the cameras.
And your bowl looks better than mine
At the moment. Yeah, like I say, I think yours was the next one up the trunk.
And thanks for the message on there, by the way.
That was last week. That's an old message now.
It is now, yeah. But it's the piece of wood I'm using tonight, so.
Well, we had a laugh anyway, mate, didn't we?
Yeah, absolutely.
So.
But quite by chance, the hole in the middle has gone where the number was. So.
Yeah. I'm not telling everyone it was 79.
Whoa. No chance of lasting that long.
No. So
I'm very pleased with 74. Never mind any more than that. But
yeah, thank you all guys for stopping with me. I know Darren's been here all the time. Clint's been here all the time. Chris has been pretty well all the time. Clive.
Yeah.
So most of you you've stuck it out.
Stuck with it. Yeah.
Yeah. But and thank you, Darren, for the comments you're putting on the socials. I certainly appreciate them. Andy hasn't seen them yet, so he won't. But I'm sure he will appreciate them when he sees them. Yeah, that's why I do it. I don't need. Scott's off. And Scott's doing a live tomorrow night, which is what the link is, I would think, that he's put in there. So,
how do you get that to go in?
Because he's got a spanner.
Oh, is he? He's not in blue.
He's got a spanner.
All right.
On YouTube.
Oh, I'm not on YouTube, am I?
No.
Yes, that's better. Because I thought he should have had. Yeah. Oh, that's all right then.
Yeah. So Darren got a spanner.
He has indeed, because he was live. He was earworming the other day, wasn't
he? And Robbo's got a spanner as well, but he's gone to bed, so he's no good.
Yeah.
Oh, it's Jamie's link for his premiere. Do you want to put yours in for tomorrow night, Scott, or for Thursday night? Quite happy to take that and promote you a bit. Be quicker for you to put it in than for Andy to find it, and I'm up the other end, so I'm miles away from the PC. Yeah, I know you're like Thursday night. That's why I said put your bloody link in, you numpty. I've seen the live. I could probably find it, but not on this PC. I'm still struggling to get myself around this one. The one indoors, I can run around that one.
I'm just going to put the link in for mine tonight.
Yeah, please do, mate.
Having just realised I haven't done that.
Oh, right, okay.
There we are, it's there.
Okay. It'll come up in a minute.
It's on YouTube.
YouTube, yeah.
It'll come up in a minute on the other one.
Yes, there's quite a delay on between YouTube and
there it is. It's just come up.
Just come up, yeah.
I've got
Yeah,
the sun
there's-
shining across my monitor, and I can't see a thing with all the dust on it.
No, it's about a 30-second delay we've got at the moment.
Yeah, it's about that.
We checked it out before we started. So, you got a link to put in there, Scott, for Thursday? Because then I'm going to call it a day unless anyone else throws a question in.
What was that one then? Oh no, that's the one that I'd already put in. That's JP's link. Is the one he's put in.
Yes, he said that.
Yeah, but I'd already done that one.
Oh, don't mind it in 2 or 3 times.
No.
It's not a problem.
Clint says beautiful piece.
It will be when it's finished, Clint. Thank you.
And Alfie's putting the kettle on now. Mine's white with 1, please.
Yeah, I'm black without. Whoopi Goldberg.
Darren's come up with another idea.
Yeah, keeps the dust off. Yeah, so does a dusting brush, Darren.
I was going to say, yeah, I've just flipped over it with my brush.
Yeah.
I'll do the camera as well.
You don't realise how much dust is in the air and sticks. But I'm glad I put the helmet on. He's put his in. Well done, Scott. Cheers, mate. So Scott's on live 7:30 on Thursday. And Rich, I'm not sure whether he's doing an invade. I think he is. I think he said he was doing one this week. But if not, Scott will drag it out a bit.
It was your fault that he didn't put it in. You said tomorrow night.
Yeah, go and see Niall.
But if you're not entitled to in old age, then when are you entitled to?
No, all the days are the same, mate. You ought to know that when you retire. You know, every day is a Saturday.
Absolutely.
Or a Thursday or a Tuesday.
Yes, I haven't missed Mondays at all.
No, getting up for Mondays to go to work has been quite good because I haven't needed to.
Absolutely.
It's another Halloween project. I knew that, but
yeah,
that was all. Right, guys, no more questions.
Nope, that's it.
I'm going to hit the off button. Go and grab a coffee, have a leak, and hopefully sit and watch Rich, unless management's got something for me to do. In which case, I'll watch him on catch up.
JP, do you mean?
JP, I mean.
Yep.
Yeah. Getting old, mate. You see, that's what it is.
No, I know the feeling. Only too well.
Yeah, you're about right there, Rich. Darren. Every day ends in a Y.
Yep.
Well,
and they're all equally good.
Yeah. So I will see everyone. Who's on next Tuesday, mate? What are you doing? You've got the list.
What's the date?
It's the 26th today, so it'll be
the 2nd.
About the 2nd, won't it?
Is me.
You're doing lunchtime, right?
Yeah.
And Rich is doing the evening, so I've got a week off, I think.
You have, and then the 9th, you're doing both.
Yeah.
11th is a Thursday. You're doing 16th is a Tuesday. You're doing lunchtime, and so on and so on. You're doing everything until
it's all planned out until Christmas anyway.
Yeah, because after the 5th of November, I'm away for a fortnight. So
yeah, but that's already covered.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. There's a big gap on my side of the list. So
but we've got some foreigners coming in to earworm for me. So
good, excellent.
Cheers all. Sorry, Roy. Yes, you have missed it, but it'll be on YT in a minute.
Very nearly missed it completely.
Yeah. At least,
Hello, Roy.
At least you got a mention anyway, Roy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Next time, get your ass in the gear and get here in time. That's all I can say.
Not much more you can say, really. Yeah.
No.
Cheers, then. Bye, everybody.
I'm going to hit the off button. So thank you very much, everybody. See you hopefully tonight in Andy.